Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to be going over a setup that occurred on the 25th of September, right over here. And it was a long setup with very simple and just clean execution. But I'm going to first go over the basis of why I was looking for longs on this day. So the market was downtrending, so a higher time frame downtrend started to form from all-time highs. So the ES sold off very aggressively, and then we always had these little pops that got sold into even more aggressively every single time. So you can see that happen over here, a little pop up and then a massive sell off again, a pop up and then another massive sell off. The difference was in the previous 2 days, the sell off was every single time in the after New York market open, here as well. But on this day, the sell off happened during the pre-market. So the market was already overextended to the downside before market open. So longs were very interesting to look for, because what more can you look for in a sell-off? Like, of course it can happen, but it's less likely, especially if price is going to come into a very significant area of demand or support, which was right over here from the 50s to the 6630s. This was very significant. Why? Because there was a rally over here, then there's a base, like an accumulation of positions, and then another rally. Then price eventually came back, tested that zone again, and this was a Wednesday, a FOMC Wednesday. And when price tested this level again, well, we shot up straight away. So this level was very significant to watch for, especially for price to support that again. And that's what eventually what happened. So price came in there right on market open, and I'm gonna go on the lower time frame first. So right here I'm on the 2-minute chart, and as you can see, just price opened up and immediately sold off a little bit more, taking out the pre-market lows and just getting into that support or demand zone a little bit deeper. And price was going very, very aggressively, and I can show you that on the Bookmap. As you can see over here, just a very aggressive sell-off as soon as market opened. A lot of aggressive selling coming into the market, but then as soon as we came to that 6630 level, price stalled and sellers were not able to bring that lower. Well, in hindsight, this looks like a very good trade, especially for a bottom reversal, but for me personally, I wouldn't want to get in as a first buyer after all of that selling in the pre-market and all of this aggressive selling from market open. So I was rather waiting for buyers to step in first, and then to get in on a retrace or a higher low, just to give me that extra confirmation that buyers actually want to defend this area. So price did its thing, we defended this area, and then aggressive buying started to step in, making the market rally up for a little bit, a couple points, like 15 points. It's a decent rally already. And then that retrace eventually happened with a lot of aggressive selling, but this area defended very, very well. So this, in hindsight, could have been a great trade. I didn't take it personally because I just didn't like it in the moment, and I was rather just waiting for another setup to occur, because this, I didn't really feel comfortable entering here at the bottom just on this specific day because of that sell-off. So I was rather just waiting. And yeah, but this is great confirmation. Selling came into the market, got absorbed, they got trapped. Aggressive buying starts stepping into the market, and then as soon as that level where the original strong buying started from and where all the sellers got absorbed and trapped, as soon as that level gets tested again, the low doesn't break, and when it's getting retested, the sellers get trapped again, bids fill, aggressive buying steps in, and on any little pullback, that's where you could potentially get long when you see weaker selling, like you see on this buyer step in, and on this pullback there's almost zero to no selling. So this is where you could get long at the 35.50s with a 3-point stop loss just below the low. That's a great trade and great confirmation, and it's basically straight up from there. You see, after that confirmation, it's just price skyrocketed straight from there. So then for me, I was looking while price was rallying over here for a pullback to get in on the market. but that didn't occur. Like, not a single pullback was significant enough for me to get in where I could get a good risk to reward with a decent safe stop loss. So I was just waiting very patiently. And then on this rally, something got created, which is a low volume node or a low volume area, however you want to call it, because price transacted that quickly and buyers were that strong that they weren't able to transact a lot of volume in this rally. And you can see that here on the right from the volume profile. You can just see all these dips in volume. Like, you see one over here, you see one over here. In between these little bulges of volume, you can see lower volume every single time, like 671. This is a low volume area. But then the one I was most interested in is right over here, from the 60s to like the 53s, more or less. Why is that? Well, first of all, on this rally, there was a massive buyer. As you can see over here, this green bubble was volume of 3,900 contracts. That's an insane amount of volume. And I read this in time as well on the footprint. There was this massive buyer where you can see right here that created this 3,810 positive delta as 66 60s. So that is literally right over here, where a little bit above VWAP at that time. So I was interested when I saw this consolidation at the highs that you just saw here on the candle as well. This consolidation, I was interested if price manipulated the lows of this consolidation into the area of the 60s until the 53s that I showed you earlier, because that's where price stalled a little bit. And that's basically those periods where price stalls a little bit after rallying very aggressively, is just a period where buyers reaccumulate their position and absorb more selling. So these are areas where, if they are in a low volume node, in a low volume area, these are areas where I expect price, if it comes towards it, to reject it and then maybe look for a long. So that ended up happening. And as you can see here, this is the rally and then the consolidation. So now I'm just basically looking for price to come back into the 60s till the 53s. Why starting from the 60s? Well, I'm expecting this big buyer, if price comes back, to defend this price, to then push price higher up, because he does not want price to come much lower than where he entered all of these buy positions, because that's drawdown for him. So he's going to want to defend that. So let's play price and see how it reacts when it comes into my area. So here price is selling off very aggressively after consolidating for almost half an hour and selling off very aggressively. And here is where I'm going to start looking for an entry. So I'm going to put this in real-time speed right now and zoom in for a little bit. So right here you see prices selling off very aggressively, and these bids are filling. You see here bids at the 60s is that same buyer. These dark red lines, that same buyer is still defending price. And after that sell-off, you see price here around the 54, 50s to 55s. It is slowing down a little bit. And I saw this in real time. And let me speed it up a little bit. You can see price, how it just, the brakes got put on all that selling, and aggressive buying is starting to step in. This is what I was seeing in real time. I'm just speeding it up, double speed right now. And then you just wait for aggressive buying, enough aggressive buying to step in to take the market long. I'm going to speed it up a little bit more. This is great confirmation. If you can enter right here with a 3-point stop loss to give it a little bit of extra breathing room, so your stop loss is around the 52, 50s, something like that, this is amazing confirmation to get long. And then what ends up happening is just price accumulates a little bit more and more aggressive buying starts stepping into the market, tests your entry maybe once or twice more, and then price goes to rally extremely aggressively. Those buyers were very successful in defending where they first rallied from. The only problem is that it only rallied for a certain amount of points, I think around 10, 11 points. So from the 55s, it It's gonna rally, I think towards like somewhere here. 66 is maybe a little bit more. Let's see. So a lot of aggressive buying just defended this area. And then we were gonna have a manipulation of where that small little rally just started. And then also another thing to note is if we rally like this and then we consolidate for half an hour right over here at the higher day, there is a very big chance that this higher day is going to get taken out at some point in the day, because there's just too much volume to not break that. Once again, I've seen this many times where we rally and you consolidate like this and the higher day gets taken out most of the time, because those buyers are just gonna break that high again. And the same for if there's a massive sell-off and then accumulation and a lot of just consolidation at the low with a lot of volume built there, that's very likely to get taken out as well, the low of it. So here, this area defended very well and we rallied from it. We just did not take out the high day, just unfortunate. But then we sell off very aggressively again, exact same scenario like the first one. More bids are filling now. We took out the low of this small little rally. And watch what you're going to see now. Another great entry, exactly the same pattern as well. I'm going to leave it on 4x speed. You're going to see just all of that selling, just get the brakes on it, and then aggressive buying start stepping in again. You see how this selling is getting absorbed by all these bids and they're not able to break down lower even though there's so much aggressive selling. That's because those buyers from earlier on are still absorbing all of that selling around these 55s, 53s. So that level was very strong. And you can see just this is exactly the same pattern. Aggressive selling, filling bids, aggressive buying starts to step in and the selling starts to dwindle. The aggressive selling starts to dwindle, and that's where you get in. So you can get in here again at the 54 or 50s now with a stop loss under the low, and there you go. Price starts rallying. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. You can even get in on this pullback if that's more secure for you, and then price goes to rally and goes to take out the higher day, which is a beautiful trade and even a much better risk to reward than the first rally that I explained over here. And there you go, higher day gets taken out. And that's just how you can use these areas of where a massive move happens and that leaves an area of low volume together, combined with like a delta outlier like this and some sort of structure where buyers were accumulating more of their positions. Those are areas where you can use price if it pulls back and it starts rejecting again, and those buyers are defending those prices. That's an area where you can get long and look for a long trade targeting higher day or just below higher day if that's more secure for you, whatever you feel like and what you're comfortable with. But that's a very great setup, and in this day you can just see two great examples back to back off of the same area, which is just amazing and a very clean setup. So if you have any questions about this, let me know in the comments. If you wanted me to dive more deep into these setups or the actual confirmations or about how I use Bookmap, let me know. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.